Hey, Pastor Steve Parr here, Gwinnett Metro Baptist Network. Thank you so much for watching this short webinar video today. I'm so excited to share with you about our ministry right here in Gwinnett County that I know a lot of you are going to want to be a part of. It's called Family Promise. And so we're going to learn about that in the next few minutes. First of all, my good friend and the director, Carol Love, is with us. Carol, how you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you, Steve, for having me.
Oh, so good to see you and engaging with our churches and doing communications. A lot of other things there with Family Promise is Mitzi Fountain. Mitzi, you did okay today?
Hey, doing great. Glad to be here. Yeah.
So I know I want to dive right in first, Pastor, to give you the thumbnail of what Family Promise is here in Gwinnett. So Carol, describe what it does for the community. What is Family Promise?
Well, Family Promise, our mission is to mobilize communities and congregations to help end family homelessness one family at a time. And what I love the most about our program is that we're able to utilize churches, which provide natural community, to help our families move forward into self-sufficiency. So Family Promise of Gwinnett, we are a shelter program for families with children ages 18 and under living in Gwinnett County to help the family move forward in order to find work, save money, and find housing. So we like to say we have three goals: make money, save money, and find housing. And it's amazing to see what we can do in 90 days. And in order to take someone from experiencing homelessness all the way to living in their own house, be it transitional housing, their own market rate rent, or working with the housing authority. But we say the key to our success is really the community that surrounds the families, which makes us very special. And so we are in need of volunteers and congregations 365 days of the year.
Yeah.
And I think the key to our success is really what our community volunteers, what our congregations bring when they come to fellowship with our families and offer hospitality to the families that we serve.
Okay, well, let's break that down just a little bit. Let me start. Missy, real quickly, is there one location, many locations, and where are you located? Where do you house homeless people temporarily? Where's that at?
Right. Yeah, we have our Promise Haven House is off of Moon Road in Lawrenceville. It's pretty central. It's a good location for many of our churches to partner with us. And it is just one location. We had a model. Carol may share what that model used to look like, where the families would go into churches, but now the churches come to us to where our families are staying while they're in the program up to 90 days. And so, yeah, each week we have typically different churches host for the week. We call it a local mission trip. And the churches come together, the members in that congregation come together to fill the different roles that we have in the evenings and on the weekends to provide hospitality and meals for our families that are there.
That is great. And Carol, I remember you telling me about this journey that at one point you housed the homeless people in churches, but now you do have this facility, which is great. How many families or people can you house? And is this men, women, children, men only? Who is this geared towards?
So Family Promise, we promise to keep families together. And so we serve single mothers, two-parent families, single fathers, and guardians with children. You just have to have a child age 18 and under. And we also take a look at how the child sees the family. So if an aunt lives with them and they have nowhere to go, then we'll actually bring in the aunt or the grandmother. So we'll bring in 3 generations.
So if I'm hearing you right, it's always a child involved, if I'm hearing you right.
There's always a child. We focus on the children, which are the innocent victims of homelessness. You know, one precious thing about Promise Haven is that many children, when they come, they see it as home and they're excited to come. The house is absolutely beautiful. You'd never think that it was a homeless shelter. It looks like an estate. And that's one thing that's really special, is that it restores dignity to our families while they're going through like one of the biggest traumas in life, not having a roof over your head. And so you do have to have a child in the program. And you'd
let me
ask
ask you
me,
this.
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Carol, how many families at a time can you accommodate? right
Thank
now?
you. That was the one thing. We have 3 families at one time in Promise Haven, but that's not the only amount of families that we're serving, because we have our Promise Haven program, which is that foundational program to help them work, save, and find housing. And then we also have 2 transitional houses that we can move families into, and they can have an additional 30 to 3 months to 6 months in order to get that savings built up, as well as help their credit and decrease their debt. So we also, one of the new ways that we're also helping our families succeed into finding housing is after they've completed 90 days, we actually have funding that can help them move into an apartment. And so we can save, we can help them for 2 to 3 months in their rent, which is a really great tapering effect, because while they're in Promise Haven, our churches, they take care of all of the needs. They take care of the meals, any kind of diapers that they may need, toiletries. They're expected, the families are expected while they're in the program to save anything that they would spend on food, anything that they would spend on rent once they're bringing in that money. So when we help put them into their apartment, then we're paying those 2 months, and then they're trying to work with their budget and really, okay, is this have I allocated enough for groceries? Do I need to go and make some additional money? But also continuing to build that wealth and again, decrease debt and increase credit score so they can get into their own apartment.
Right. Okay, so churches and pastors, stay tuned, because we're going to show you again, I like that word, a local mission trip, how you can be involved. And there's many options from a weekend or a week or even a day to help. Real quickly before we get to that though, Missy, let me ask you, let's look at the other side for just a moment. Let's suppose that a church came in contact with somebody who had a homeless issue and wanted to connect with Family Promise to see how that family might benefit from that. Who would they contact? How would they contact? What would be the process on that end for a family that's homeless that has a need? What would they need to do?
Right. I mean, the best thing would be to call our main number, because we would screen them. And actually the screening is done online, but we have community resources because we do try to partner with lots of other different organizations in the area. So if we can't meet that need, we do hope to connect them to the people that can.
And you mind giving that number, Mitzi? Do you mind giving that?
It is.
I'll give it.
Thank you.
It's 678-376-8950.
Okay, that's
and really, if there's someone who's a family, you've got to have a car to be in the program. They're going to go through a drug screening, a background check, and of course have that car. You can direct them to the website. And there is a screening form on that. And that's how we do our screenings. We used to do them on the phone, but if it's during the day, they can call the line and potentially have some resources that we can give to them.
Well, Carol, one thing I like about this, and you correct me if I'm wrong, and there's all kinds of great ministries out there for the homeless, by the way, but this is just not just a place for someone to sleep for the night. And this is a place where we bring families in, not what your ministry does, bring families in and helps them to get reestablished and really pours into them a lot. Am I reading that correctly, Carol?
Yeah, absolutely. The thing that I love about Family Promise of Gwinnett, it's a double-sided coin. It meets the need for the kingdom to act out their faith and for us to meet the needs of those who are in need of food and clothing and shelter. And it allows us to act out our faith in that way. And also we're benefiting the families. So you've got that wonderful progression where my favorite part of this organization is giving the opportunities to the churches and say, this is the way that you can give back to the community and pour into others, by acting out your faith, by showing the love of Jesus. And it's all about when we bring someone into faith, if they're not already, a believer, it is just about loving through action and building community, building a personal relationship. And you just never know how far that will go. One conversation, one smile, just being there, doing the gift of presence you're changing the life of generations to come. Because again, our goal is to stop generational poverty, generational homelessness. So let's take care of those children, and then let's work with those families, and hopefully it'll be a trickle down effect. And there are so many children, like we had Stephanie Patra, who is always welcome to come and speak. She loves to go out and speak and tell her story. She was on our board. She was our board secretary, but she actually was one of the first families to go through the program as a child. She was a child, and she talks about her experience there. She was 13. It was horrible for her, but she appreciated it afterwards, because Family Promise actually helped her family buy a new home, and that had been their home for 15, 20 years until her mom chose to sell it after all the kids went to college.
Right.
So they're, the kids that go through this program, when they get older, they appreciate it and they want to come back and serve. And many of our families do as well.
Yes.
Let's get right to the application. And pastors, here's what this whole video is about. I was trying to give you the background here, but we want to show you how your church can engage locally. It's a great way. You've got people in your church who would never go overseas, and that there's many reasons for that. Maybe can't even go to another state or another part of the state, but here's something you can do right here where you're committing maybe 1 week to assist. Mitzi, walk through that with a church. What might be some options where they could connect and really be a blessing to you, blessed to the homeless that are being housed there, and also be missionally engaged with your ministry there for a week or more, or however. Give us all the possible ways.
Yeah. So typically what we do ask is our new churches, because we do have established churches for many years that have been hosting mission weeks at through Family Promise, as well as at Promise Haven, since we just started that program last year. And so typically a church would sign up for, again, we like 2 weeks a year. And then we would have someone that would be a volunteer coordinator. They would partner with me and they would be in the local church. And I would be talking to them about how to get volunteers involved in their church, which would be people that love to cook. Again, our families need hot meals every night that week, as well as through the year. So dinner host. So we do call our volunteers host and our families guests. And so dinner host would be needed through that local church, as well as evening host. Evening host come in at 6 o'clock until 8:30 in the evening. And, a member would sign up for like a Monday night, and they would serve for 2.5 hours and just be that hospitality and support the families as they're eating their meal, helping with the life skills program, which is cleaning in the house. And then on the weekends, because we have dinner host, evening host throughout the week. And then on the weekends, we need someone to stay overnight. On Friday and Saturday nights, we give our house manager time off because she's there from Sunday through Thursday. And so our overnight hosts stay from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. On Fridays, and we call it Sleeping for Jesus because that's really what it is. You're just a gift of presence through the night. And then on Saturdays, we have our day hosts, and that gives the opportunities our families to stay at Promise Haven, take care of the tasks around the house, like laundry or helping their kids with homework or running errands. And so those are our 4 different areas of volunteering that a church would fill for that week.
Good.
And
So, Pastor, so this is not all day, every day. It's the evening and weekends. And if you get a lot of people involved, you can even spread your members out, to assist with this. I think there's some probably some value in being there every day versus rotating. But I know that the home would love to have help. Pastors, here's what we got to wrap this up. But pastors, I want to ask you to consider work with your missions team or whoever that is, deacons, elders, whoever. Would you consider giving 2 weeks in the next year? You say we can't give 2 weeks. Would you give an evening? You go check it out. Maybe just give a night or a weekend or a week. But I want you to test drive it at the very least and be a blessing. I think if you'll go and do that, you'll want to give 2 weeks. But some of you've got the resources and the heart to go ahead and just write up and say, hey, we'll give 2 weeks. We've got enough members. And by the way, any size church can do this. If you've got 15 members and you all want to engage, you can do this. So it doesn't take a large church. this is a way we can all be involved. So we did wrap it up. So Carol, final word before we wrap this up today.
Final word is, I want to offer all the pastors, we could potentially come up with a date where you guys could all come in, several different dates, and do a tour and learn a little bit more. And I am so happy to do that. Once you guys get behind a mission, you know that it's going to be successful in your congregation. And we would love to be a mission that you guys partner with. And I just want to offer that opportunity up.
Good. And Mitzi, would you give contact information? If somebody says, I want to know now, I want to talk to somebody now or soon. Who do they need to contact? Just first steps to maybe get engaged in a missional project with Family Promise.
Yes, they really need to talk to me. So I work hand in hand with our churches and all of our volunteers. So they can reach out by email at mfountain@familypromisegwinnett.org. And that would probably be the easiest way. And then I'll share my contact information, by phone, and we can do that. Or they're welcome to call our office number as well, and they'll pass that information on to me. But I would love to get our churches connected in the next few months.
Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you, Carol and pastors. Let's shine through here for Gwinnett and look the opportunity to be a ministry to people. And we know that gospel opportunities will unveil themselves as we just love people, not only here, but throughout our county with any and every opportunity. Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Mitzi. Thank you for your ministry, first of all, for the connection that we've made. And I just pray the Gwinnett churches will be a blessing to you and the Gwinnett Metro Baptist Network. Thank you so much for being with us today. God bless you both.
Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
Thanks, pastors. Take care now. Talk to you soon.